Hello friends, in this video we are going to discover the top 10 best places to live in Canada. Seasoned expats know too well that for a successful relocation, knowledge is the key. It's not just about the country you are moving to, it's about the exact place you will call home. So, if you know you're moving to Canada but don't know where exactly, here are our top choices for the best places to live in Canada. There are some essential things to consider when choosing where to live. Some places in Canada have better opportunities than others regarding jobs, careers, housing and schooling, climate and leisure activities. Average wages are higher than in many other countries, although expenses can also be higher. Canada frequently ranks at the top of lifestyle lists because it offers good employment opportunities and has decent standards of healthcare and education. The one downside of Canada most often quoted is the climate. But despite what many people think, Canada is not covered in snow for 6 months of the year. It's relatively easy to find a part of Canada where winter isn't as harsh, and it's much easier to cope with the cold. Canada certainly has more positives than it does negatives. So, if you're a would-be emigrating expatriate planning on moving to Canada, here's what you need to know about the best places to live. Kindly make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon before we start this video about the 10 best places to live in Canada. Now let's dig deeper into each of the top 10 best places to live in Canada. Number 10. Saskatoon. If you're looking for a city that seriously acts like one giant village, Saskatoon is easily one of the top choices. Home to around 275,000 people, Saskatoon in Saskatchewan doesn't feel like a city. The downtown area and surrounding suburbs are very community-based and are very welcoming to anyone who moves in. There are huge numbers of public parks, playgrounds, and public sports grounds. There's even a hugely successful weekly farmers market for local produce as well as public swimming pools in the summer and many festivals including comedy, Shakespeare, music and agricultural events. Thanks to local agriculture and the wide open plains, the cost of living in Saskatoon is fairly low compared to the rest of the nation. House prices are on the way up as the area becomes more popular, but they are generally lower than average. The downside is the weather. Saskatoon experiences freezing winters. This fosters a very neighborly attitude where everyone will help you out if you need it. However, the winter weather is so extreme that Saskatoon is one of the few cities where life can grind to a halt during storms. Number 9. Quebec City. Quebec City is one of the oldest existing cities in the entire North American continent. Founded in 1833 but with even older history, this fortified city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and has some of the most beautiful architecture in Canada. Quebec City is a hub of culture, art, and history with cobbled streets, historical landmarks, plenty of parkland and museums. While it is smaller and has fewer amenities than other major cities in Canada, you'll never struggle to find healthcare, schools, or work. Language is the primary consideration for anyone planning to move to the city. Fewer than 2% of inhabitants speak English fluently, and French is definitely the dominant language for work. In general, life in Quebec City is cheaper than in other similar-sized cities. Everything from rent to groceries sits below average, making it an inexpensive place to emigrate to. The reason for the low costs is the winter isolation. Most winter days sit at around -7, with plenty of snow and short dark days. But if you can stand the cold, summers are warm and bright, and the city is very welcoming to newcomers. Number 8. Halifax. Based out on the Atlantic coast, Halifax is the regional capital for Nova Scotia. The stunning coastline and leisure lifestyle make it the ideal location for people looking to get away from city life for a quiet retirement. The city of Halifax sits on one side of the Bedford Basin facing the town of Dartmouth on the other side. As such, life in Halifax means having access to the amenities of two cities. The choices for education, healthcare, public facilities and employment are doubled thanks to the two bridges connecting the two cities. Thanks to its coastal position, the area gets a fair amount of snow, but temperatures are less cold in winter, and snow melts faster. Winters are long but feel shorter than the intense cold in other places like Toronto. It is relatively remote, so winters can feel lonely, and many people feel unconnected to the mainland. Surprisingly, the cost of living in Halifax is relatively low. House prices, rent, and general bills tend to be lower than average, meaning people have high disposable incomes. The area is generally very affluent and a wonderful place to live. Number 7. Calgary. If you are moving to Alberta, there's a big chance you are choosing between Calgary and Edmonton. Calgary, the largest city in Alberta, has a lot to offer anyone moving to Canada. As the city is located at the meeting point of two rivers, the Bow and the Elbow, at the foot of the Rocky Mountains, life in Calgary is certainly picturesque. Calgary initially grew from a small town into a city as the railway expanded out west. As such, it has all the charm of a mountain village with all the amenities of a fast-paced city. The city is separated into 180 distinct neighborhoods, each with its own history and culture, making Calgary one of the most diverse cities in Canada. Redevelopment in some of the older neighborhoods is ongoing, meaning there is always something new to explore. Parks and outdoor spaces are very well maintained, especially Prince Island Park, used for many of the city's festivals, including a music festival and cowboy stampede. Despite high property costs, Calgary is reasonably inexpensive for day-to-day living costs. It is also supported by fantastic employment opportunities. There are plenty of jobs in the tourism, film, manufacturing, aerospace, health, financial services, and transport sectors, making Calgary a straightforward place to move to if you are looking for work. Number 6. Vancouver. Vancouver repetitively tops lists as one of the best places to live in the world, and it's no surprise. The city has everything from mountains to beaches, islands, coastline, an urban center, and beautiful residential suburbs. Vancouver really does have everything. The only drawback if you plan on moving to Vancouver is the property market. Prices for a family home in the suburbs can reach over $1 million Canadian very quickly, and properties that come up for sale get snapped up fast. Even rent can be very high, making finding somewhere to live complicated. Vancouver's economy is diverse and thriving. Film and television are huge employers in the area, as the city is the most popular filming location after New York and LA. The general cost of living in Vancouver is also very high. Following Singapore, it's one of the most expensive cities globally. But on the flip side, it offers the best of the best. Vancouver has the best schools, best hospitals and medical care, best public transport, best shopping districts, best harbor and maintained parkland. Stanley Park is world famous in most of Canada. Even the weather in Vancouver is milder than in other places, making outdoor activities more accessible year-round. If you can afford it, Vancouver is truly incredible. Number 5. Boucherville. Boucherville is one of the oldest municipalities in Quebec. Situated very near Montreal, its population growth is high, so with bike-friendly streets and a strong arts and sports community, Boucherville is hugely attractive for expatriates. The great outdoors is definitely a prominent feature in Boucherville. The Isles de Boucherville National Park is one of the most amazing parks in Canada, with snow hiking, volleyball on sand, sea kayaking, wildlife viewing, biking and more. Boucherville residents are mostly French-speaking, about 90% of the population speak French, while only 2% can speak fluent English. Therefore, knowing French is an essential factor if you want to move to Boucherville. In general, the city has a very low unemployment rate, and employees receive relatively good salaries. Boucherville's industrial park is home to around 575 businesses, which provides employment to 23,000 people. Boucherville is just 18 kilometers away from Montreal, so it is common for many Boucherville residents to commute to work in Montreal. Typical areas of employment in Montreal are aerospace, software, electronics, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, and transportation. Number 4. St. Albert. Alberta has been climbing up the list of the best provinces in Canada for several years in a row. With its strong economy and abundance of high-paying jobs, it is attracting more Canadians and expatriates than ever, as people are starting to discover there is more to living in Alberta than just oil. It has all the amenities such as schools, healthcare and recreational facilities, and also boasts several parks and facilities to promote a healthy lifestyle. St. Albert has ample green space, an abundance of outdoor rinks, and more than 85 kilometers of bike trails along the Sturgeon River. It is also home to an international children's festival that draws 55,000 people every year. Crime rates are steadily falling, and while winters there can be freezing, there's plenty of sunshine all year round. St. Albert is located just 30 kilometers away from Edmonton, the regional capital, and is a preferred place for those who choose a more relaxed pace of life. St. Albert has a low unemployment rate of 4.3%, and incomes are among the highest in the country, with most people commuting to work in Edmonton. The region is rich in oil and natural gas, which has given Edmonton the title of Oil Capital of Canada. So many residents of St. Albert who commute to Edmonton work in oil-related industries. However, the area offers a wide range of other employment sectors. There are opportunities in information technology, banking, and biotechnology. Number 3. Oakville. Oakville, a lovely suburban town in southern Ontario, also boasts a brilliant location in Halton Region on Lake Ontario, which gives residents easy access to natural wonders on the one hand and to a bustling city of Toronto on the other hand. Oakville is just 30 minutes from downtown Toronto and an hour's drive from Niagara Falls and the United States border. It deserves its place on the list of the best places to live in Canada for its outstanding catering for families and children. There is plenty to do for those who love arts, culture, and music, from performances at the local Oakville Centre for the Performing Arts to museums and galleries to fantastic festivals, including Oakville's annual Waterfront Festival, Festival of Classics, and Jazz Festival. There are over 2,400 acres of park space, many with groomed hiking trails. For boaters, Oakville features 2 picturesque harbors with docks and slips for sail and powerboats. Oakville is a base for Siemens and the Ford Motor Company Canadian offices, as well as manufacturing facilities operated by UTC Aerospace Systems and General Electric, meaning jobs are easy to find. Oakville is a popular location for life science companies, specializing mainly in pharmaceuticals and elder care. However, Oakville is a Toronto suburb, and many residents commute to work in Toronto, where employment opportunities are numerous and diverse. Number 2. Burlington. Ontario, in general, is one of the most popular provinces for expats. No wonder, there are so many advantages of living in Ontario that the province is impossible to ignore. Located near Toronto, Burlington sits at the southwestern end of Lake Ontario and is the perfect place for those who want a big city living in close proximity to nature and the great outdoors. Residents can enjoy some of the best hiking in the world in the local sections of the Bruce Trail and the Niagara Escarpment, a UNESCO-designated World Biosphere Reserve, along the waterfront trail that skirts the northern shore of Lake Ontario. The lifestyle available is good, with plenty of schools, colleges, and healthcare facilities available to residents. From the 115 parks you can visit across the city to the museums, to the many annual festivals that residents enjoy, Burlington has excellent and diverse opportunities. This city earns high marks for low unemployment, pleasant weather, low crime, high incomes, and great transit. The city has a broad economic base, which adds to its economic stability, and it ensures there are consistently job prospects available across multiple sectors. Toronto is conveniently accessible from Burlington by commuter train, which connects central Burlington to downtown Toronto. It takes 1 hour by train to commute. So many professionals choose to commute daily to work in Toronto and live in Burlington. Number 1. Ottawa. Ottawa is a very popular choice for expatriates. The city consistently ranks highly for the quality of life, cleanliness, and is one of the best communities to live in worldwide. Thanks to its cultural diversity and a large number of young people attracted to the city by its 2 universities, University of Ottawa and Carleton University, Ottawa is a vibrant and youthful city with stunning architecture, a prosperous city centre, and lovely neighborhoods. Ottawa has 4 distinct seasons, which provide a nice change of scenery throughout the year. Winters are cold and fabulously bright with tons of winter activities available through the city, and summers can get quite hot and humid. Ottawa is officially bilingual, and many services there are offered in both French and English. The cost of living in Ottawa, although higher than average, is still quite affordable. Dining out and groceries can be expensive, especially imported items. However, salaries are also above the average and unemployment in Ottawa is relatively low at 5.3%. Top occupations are information systems analysts and consultants, retail salespersons and computer programmers and interactive media developers. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, Click the subscribe button so you can receive more content like this. Post your favorite places among the top 10 best places to live in Canada in the comments below. I'd love to read them, and I'm sure others would too.